yet again, we are both here to talk about some great flicks that we've been watching.
It's a flick.
A flick.
It's what you've been waiting for.
Let me just say, first of all, I don't know about you, Sean, but you agree completely. But the amount of support that we've been getting on this small little podcast is fucking phenomenal. So,
I can agree upon that. Heavily.
So, if you are listening at all, if you're in your car listening to this on the fucking whatever you do, running, working out and listening to this, it's much appreciated. And I think that's just to listen, and anything supporting wise is greatly appreciated.
We definitely do appreciate if anybody's been listening to this on podcast, YouTube, or even our Spotify. We do really appreciate it, especially considering we've just started, and even having a little bit of feedback from you guys. We really do keep everything you guys say in our considerations.
Yeah, and it's most people say that we're funny. I don't think we're fucking funny. I'm just trying to do this shit seriously.
Look, if we really thought about it, Renee said it in the first episode, and he pretty much explains how he feels, and it's all about seeing my stupid face. And from here on out, that's what you're going to mostly be hearing. Well, we're going to basically get pretty much into it. If you're wondering, it should be about 3 days before Christmas. If not, we might have fucked up.
Yeah.
But this is our Christmas episode. This is a special that we were going to have so that you guys could kind of have a Christmas movie to listen to during the holidays. I know a lot of y'all have the days off, or some people don't. And if you don't have the days off, well, if you have time for yourself, this is the perfect opportunity to listen to us and maybe bring the jolly season for yourself.
Yeah. I hate being jolly, but people like listening to Christmas podcasts.
It's going to be kind of weird because I think we just made a episode on Halloween. So
in December?
So everybody's going to be like, you guys kind of were behind. To be
honest, we are behind. There is things that we should be talking about, but it's okay. We're getting there.
It's okay. Look, we're giving you the Christmas episode you wanted, and I think there's no better way for us to basically put the Christmas episode out there than to have the Christmas movie itself, which is, Renee?
Oh, you want? It is the 2004, right?
Yeah, it's 2000.
I'm sorry, 2000. Fuck.
2004 Space Odyssey. Never happened. Doesn't exist. Wait, listen. Before we lose you, no, wait. He's not talking about that movie. That never happened.
Come back. Okay. It is the 2000 gem of the year, the 2000 Christmas movie with the man himself, not only
my man.
Sean, not only my man, but notably more Sean's man, and that is Jim Carrey, and that is the Ron Howard film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
And
this is pretty. I didn't know Ron Howard made it. I didn't know James Horner, which probably y'all are like, who the hell's that? He composed it, which he did Avatar as well. What a switch up, you know.
And you know what else is interesting? Anthony Hopkins narrated.
Anthony Hopkins narrated it, man. It's like Silence of the Lambs with Jim Carrey's Ace Ventura. It's the ultimate combinations of movies.
So, I don't know how this fucking movie got made, but
I swore I thought it was made by Tim Burton.
But thank God.
I was like, Danny Elfman must be the guy composing this motherfucker. With Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp must be deep down inside Jim Carrey, about to jump out and start singing or something.
So, I saw this when I was like 5 years old. When it came out.
Really?
I think I was like 5.
2000? That was 18 years ago. Damn, we old as shit.
Yeah, I'm like 38 now. Oh shit.
38.
But
don't disappoint your viewers.
No, but I saw when I was like 5 years old, and I was like, This is pretty funny, but looking at back, like, I saw it again when I was
like
probably 15.
I was 6 years old when this movie came out.
I was like 15 when I saw Recent Visit. I was like, fuck. This is so fucking creepy.
I watched this movie as a kid, too, which is crazy, because when I watched this movie, I remember it hit me pretty heavy, you know, the ending, which we'll get into. But, I don't know. Re-look at it today, we'll get into it, but best way I can put it is I still think I like it.
Oh, I love the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, it's still pretty fucking great.
It's still pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
Even through all the torture that Jim Carrey had to go through.
Yeah, which I didn't know that he had to go through any of that.
He went through some shit. It was like 3 hours of prosthetics and makeup every day.
Really?
Yeah, so...
that whole suit looks uncomfortable.
You know, he probably from deep down the bottom of the heart, from like, he just puts this movie off like so far behind him.
It's probably one of the toughest things he's ever done.
And he went through some shit, like, fuck. But yeah, he went through some shit with putting on this fucking suit every day. So for that, I thank Jim Carrey for giving me such a fucking phenomenal comical role and gave me such a great movie for, I guess, my childhood.
Yeah, I think it still works to this day.
And I hate saying my childhood, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, us young bucks.
Yeah. More like old bucks.
Okay, well, we're going to go straight into this. This is How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey himself. Here we go.
All right, let's fucking dive into this thing. So it starts off by a narration by Anthony Hopkins. He's talking about, like, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
He's talking about Christmas. That's all we know.
He's talking about Christmas.
All we know is it's like in some snowy abyss.
I don't know.
These people live in a blizzard.
I mean, as a kid, you don't listen to pictures. You just watch the pictures, and then now, like, I'm older, I can listen to it, but I tune it out of my mind. So it's zooming in. It's like, it starts off on a snowflake, and it starts zooming in all the way into the snowflake. All the way, and Anthony Hopkins is narrating about Christmas and how fucking wonderful it is, and how
it's like hoo-ha. This is the town of hoo-ha. Whoville, there you go. Hoo-ha. It's a Halloween movie, baby. Here we go.
So it's narrates in, and then he goes in, and it's just like the Christmas spirit, and then it goes in really fucking far into this snowflake, apparently what it is, and it's like the molecular structure of a snowflake that has its own planetary solar system, like, in the middle of it. Cool. Fucking awesome.
It's really interesting when you think about it.
Yeah, so, to be honest, the whole fucking science behind this movie is all fucking wild out.
We'll explain that later. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Confuse me. I'll explain to it.
So we get to the city, and you see, like, all the people basically...
like, killing each other.
Yeah, they're basically just fighting each other just to get these damn critters better. And this is where we're introduced to Cindy Lou. Cindy Lou, who...
like, the sweetest fucking Swedish child in this goddamn movie. Actually, I don't even think there is any other children. Is there?
You know, that's a good question. Either we haven't paid attention the whole fucking movie, or there was no one else. No, I think there was people walking around
with, like, children, but she was, like, the only child.
I think she was there. She was the kid there.
In her time, she was, like, the only kid actor. I mean, maybe
there were more. They were just cameos. You know what I mean? We weren't fucking paying attention. Look,
Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou.
Pretty reckless. Anyway.
Yeah, so she
sounds like, I don't know what that is.
So she shows up, and you see her with her pops. Her pops. Don't kill me for. Let me see what it is.
Her pops is what is he? He's a mailman.
Yeah, he's like a mailman.
He works at the post office, and he's like making deliveries for Christmas, and he's up to his neck with work and fucking trying to get out of these orders. There's like
Lulu who.
Yeah, that's a.
No wonder he had trouble saying that name. Anyway, his dad's like basically trying to get his mom a bunch of Christmas gifts, and like everybody's fighting for it. And I remember there's a certain point in the scene where there's like a guy, and he gets a sign. He's all, 99% off! And
for 5 minutes!
For 5 minutes! And everybody goes, oh shit! And they all attack each other to
start fucking biting each other's ears off and shit.
And then her, Cindy's like, Dad, is this what Christmas is? And he's all, of course it is! Let's go get that sale!
And so, like, from there, where do we go?
We go, so from there, they're kind of like, we kind of go to the mountain that we were explaining earlier. There's a giant snowy mountain.
So as it pans up to a beautiful...
You see a bunch of teenagers basically climbing up there.
Yeah. These weird teenagers with haircuts.
They're like, you're afraid of the Grinch!
That are supposed to be look bad for... What are supposed to be look bad, but... They look good.
To be honest.
And most people have their haircuts like that today.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that too. They felt like characters that belonged in Face Off. But they were put in this movie, and you're kind of like... Because the guys are like... She's like, oh my God, you're so big. If you're so strong, go up and knock at his door. And as soon as they get to the door, they're like shitting their pants. They're like, oh fuck, he does exist.
We're at the Grinch's doorstep.
And they're kind of looking at the door and they're like, oh fuck. And they look at each other and they're like, there's nothing there, right? I think as soon as they go up to the door, do they knock or as soon as they get too close?
I think they just turn around, they get too close and a fucking...
Giant fucking dragon.
Dragon
breathes fire. They panic. You know what's crazy? So when we were thinking about this, when the dragon comes out, whatever. But whenever that comes out, your first interaction, like if that was you, this is what Renee's talking about, physics. So if that was you, you would panic and try to climb down the mountain as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
These motherfuckers run, jump off the mountain. You see them smashing into just tumbling in the snow as they're flying off the mountain.
Turning into a giant snowball.
Completely destroyed. The girls run out, jump too. They jump with them.
I don't know why the girls jump, but I guess they're scared.
They're completely getting destroyed by an avalanche at this point. But they're completely fine, right? They're completely fine later on. So you see that the dog kind of is like...
Okay, but hold on. It's like a dragon, and then like it slowly zooms over, and you see like a dog barking.
It's a little dog.
It's a little tiny dog barking into this animatronic like dragon type monster thing.
Yeah,
and so they got scared pretty much for nothing, those fucking dumbasses.
So technically, true. So you see the dog like walks back in, and we get to a shot of our first shot of the Grinch.
Of the Grinch's hand, and it's fucking grotesque.
And he's grabbing this, I don't know if it's a plum or an apple.
He's just digging through trash. He's like digging through like week old celery, fucking bananas.
And he grabs it, and you look at his mouth, and his teeth are fucked up.
And he's just
he bites into it. Max, get over here!
He's a Max.
Disgusting.
He's all, get my coat. I don't know what he says. He's like, get my coat.
He says, wow, he's like, oh, so there's some kids that are going to come through here. Looks like I'm going to have to take a visit to Whoville.
I'm going to have to take a visit to them. And so...
Yeah, so he ends up...
That's exactly what he does. He goes on a stroll with Max.
When you see him dressed up, he's like in a big kind of jacket, scarf looking
thing. Looks like a fucking Jedi.
Just a hoodie. He looks like a Jedi. And he puts on a big white mask and has big buck teeth.
Like that's considering it.
Like everybody, and then people go up to him like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's all, "Pretty good."
He's like, "Oh yeah, jolly, ho ho."
And you see the people on this tricycle as they ride by, and then you hear him crash horrifically. And he's like, "Man, these people got to really watch out for themselves." And you realize behind him he has a big ass, like a
fucking saw.
So like a big saw behind him.
Just sabotage.
He hands it to a kid, and he's all right. He tells the kids run as fast as possible with the kids, have as much fun as you'd like, and they're like, yeah. They run off, about to kill themselves.
Gives infants a fucking.
He's a horrible person. So he's like walking through the streets, kind of making mayhem because I think he's trying to. He's trying to like mess up, I guess, kind of play some pranks.
Yeah.
And as that's going on, we go back to the mail room where we find out that Lou is basically putting all the mail in the right spots for Christmas. So everybody basically receives their mail at the right times. And while that's going on, Cindy's there kind of helping out her dad, and she's like, is this what it's really about? And he's like, yeah, we just got to keep working, and he's helping out with the ladder.
Yeah.
But he sends her to the back, right? If I'm correct, he sends her to the back of the mailroom to like fix something or to like do something. He wanted her to do that. And when he does that, she goes back there. And when she goes back there, she finds the Grinch fucking up everybody's fucking... He's throwing everybody fucking jury duty. Jury duty. Yeah, I think he was throwing like love letters and stuff. In the wrong... Fake love letters. Ruining people's lives,
mixing
basically.
Around mail, just fucking with people.
Perfect. So he's like... And she walks in there, and when she walks in there, she couldn't find him, but she looks up, and he's like on the corner of the wall.
He's like, ah!
And he scares her, and she falls backwards, and by her falling backwards, she falls into basically the mailboxes system where it gets stamped. And there's like a big metal crusher to crush the packages, and she's panicking. She's falling in there, and she looks like she's gonna be crushed. And the Grinch is like, all right, whatever, try again, adios. So he
gets the fuck out of there.
He's like, all right, I'm gonna start walking away, and the dog Max is like, what do you think you're doing, dude? Get the fuck back in there and save that girl. And it's like...
He's like, no.
He's like, you've got to be kidding me. And then he bites him in the ass, and he's like, what are you doing? Get off me. Max. There's no time for this. He's like, oh, you know what? Okay, whatever. And what he does, literally, all he does is grabs her one leg, pulls her all the way up, puts her on the ground. She's like,
You saved me.
Yeah, he tries to just walk off, and she's like, You saved me. And he looks back, he's all, oh, I didn't save you. He grabs a bunch of wrapping, he wraps her completely, putting her like in a chair. She's just completely covered, puts a bow on her face, and this is adios, and walks out of there. And I think when he walks out of there, that's when Lou walks in, sees Cindy there.
Oh, Lou.
Yeah, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, help me.
She's like, honey. He's like, oh, sweetie.
Are you practicing your
completely oblivious that a fucking monster was there fucking with his daughter.
Yeah, so
blinded by the Christmas spirit and the Christmas holiday.
This is going on, Augustus is the Mayor Augustus Lou is introduced there. And he walks in and he's kind of like explaining that, like, the Christmas cheer and all that. And he's like kind of like on the upside. And when that's going on, the Grinch ends up finding the pipe to go back up. Which you can explain it.
The science of this does not. Okay, so like, I don't know how long you've been on this earth, but I've been on this earth for 38 years, and I just want to explain that throughout my entire life, I know what comes up must come down. Essentially, right? What comes down doesn't go back up, Sean. So
not just go back up, go in zigzags upside down.
Zigzags.
Left to right, up and down.
Like a fucking pinball machine. There's not enough. God damn it. So what this guy does is he jumps in a dumpster chute and goes straight the fuck up, zigzag, loop-de-loop, upward.
And when they showed him like in his shot, it's kind of just him literally look like he's going downwards.
He's legit going down, but it's up.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm like, excuse me?
It's like laws of physics have been broken. We're already inside of a snowflake. We should have known that at the beginning. So anyway, he goes to, that happens to him. Mayor Augustus Lou is like explaining how they're basically gonna have a competition to see who is the nicest, I think, right?
Some bullshit about who's the, I don't know, it's like who's the most Christmas cheer of it all, or I may be completely wrong. Sean, you might help me out.
No. I think what happens first is I think we're skipping too much ahead. I think that Cindy Lou before we get there, Cindy Lou is curious on why the Grinch helped her.
Oh yeah,
and saved her life because
she's like, oh yeah, well, he can't all be bad.
Yeah. She's
if he was bad, he wouldn't have helped me.
Or saved her.
Yeah, or saved her.
So she like tries to go get information from different people about him, and that's when we kind of find out the backstory behind the Grinch.
Oh shit! So we're here.
Yeah, we're already there.
Okay, so the backstory. This shit's fucked up. Okay, not only on like the Grinch, like poor thing, but like. It just shows how their society is.
Yeah, it's really, really fucked up.
No.
Actually, before this,
hold on.
Before we even get to the backstory, though, I remember there's a scene where when she gets home and like they're there at night, you see like her mom putting up lights.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a competition to see who has the best lights.
Oh yeah.
And that's where you meet Martha May putting up her lights with a fucking gun machine.
This beast of a fucking machine.
Yeah.
Turret just.
And that goes to where Cindy starts to try to figure out who. If we're butchering this, we apologize. We're just kind of try to put piece this movie together. But basically, yeah, she starts to like try to ask everybody questions to find out who he was.
Yeah. So. We get into a little bit of the backstory of like the society.
So he talks to Martha May,
and
she talks to his two moms, basically.
Yeah, he had two.
And Augustus.
He had two like old lady moms, and they were, I don't even know how they are. So she started asking like, oh, how is the Grinch? How is this and that? And like, how did he come about? And then the two old ladies are just like, oh, what this and that, and she asked Augustus Mays, and Augustus Mays just like, no, I never had a crush on him. She's like, I didn't ask that.
So that's Martha May.
Oh, Martha May. Who's Augustus May?
Augustus Lou is
the fucking
No, Augustus Lou's the mayor.
Oh, that prick. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's just like, oh, I never had a crush on him.
Oh, it was Augustus May who?
Augustus May who?
Yeah, this is Augustus May who.
I even hate his name.
Yeah, Augustus May who.
He's not meant to be liked, but so they start asking around, and she's like, how did he come about? She's like, well, it was one dark night. And so, like, as I was saying,
it was definitely not like that.
This shit, this whole Whoville hoo-ha.
This isn't a Halloween special.
No. Like, the fucking, not even, like, the physics, the biology of these people.
It's really interesting, actually. They go with basically the stork story, but it's not a stork. Instead, you get just a carriage flying in the sky.
Like, this is gonna sound gruesome, but I don't know if they like mail off a seed or something.
We have no clue. All we know is that the snowflakes that comes from the clouds, they are just flying in a carriage.
Yeah, in a carriage with an umbrella floating down.
What's really interesting too is because when he gets to the ground, like,
so they're babies floating down to the ground in a carriage, and how they're floating down is connected to the umbrella. So like, I don't know, like in the middle of the night, people get like babies.
You remember that one guy? There's one guy who the baby gets there. He's all, hey, your baby's here. You know, he looks a lot like your boss. Like she fucking cheated on him. What a horrible. Why would you even say that in the movie? Every kid's not going to understand that. They're going to be like, you know what? My dad said that. Nobody's going to say that. It's a horrible situation. You don't bring up that question.
That's a good.
Never bring up that question. So I'm just
thinking, like, what the fuck? Did they just mail their shit off? Or like...
I don't really know.
Okay, I'm not gonna get into it anymore. So, anyways, the Grinch came about. I don't know how the fuck this monster of an infant fucking came about.
He was adorable in like a gremlin aspect.
He was disgusting.
He wasn't that bad.
He was despicable as a kid.
He wasn't that bad.
He knocked out another carriage. That carriage was probably straight.
Oh yeah, there was another baby there in the sky, and then he fucking flew into it. And you heard the baby go, ah! And he's all laughing all hard and shit. He's so excited. What a good time.
He just killed a baby.
Completely destroying that baby's complete lifestyle.
So like this fucking Grinch. This Grinch baby. Grinch baby. And it's like really clunky and weird. Like one arm is moving. It's just Disgusting.
When he arrives onto the doorstep, I remember he shows up at a party.
He doesn't even arrive on the doorstep. He gets caught in a tree or something like that.
He basically like lands and everybody's partying that night. Yeah. And the mothers explain like nobody goes to get him because everybody's partying so hard, so they have to wait till the next day.
They have to wait till the morning to get him.
What a horrible life.
So he stayed there out in the cold and freezing. I don't know how this baby did not die, but
he's the Grinch.
He's the Grinch.
He's unbeatable.
He's unbeatable. Nothing can kill him. So these old ladies, they're done pottering. They're done doing their fucking drugs and drinking their alcohol, and they wake up the next morning like, oh, we got a baby. Cool. Yeah, let's take care of it.
They loved him a lot.
They loved this shit out of this guy, this little guy, and like he was like a genius.
He was special. They thought he was special.
There was something special about him.
That's when they start trying to feed him some cookies, and they bring the cookie jar, and it's a cookie jar made of Santa. And
it's like a plate.
It's a cookie plate. Yeah,
and it's like a cookie Santa plate.
Yeah,
and the Grinch is all like, he's like Santa, and then he's like, oh my god, his first word.
No. What actually happens is they try to hand him a cookie. He bites the plate. And he goes, Santa, bye-bye. They're like, oh, shit, this dude's a beast.
He's literally back away.
You hear him crunching the glass.
He's eating glass.
Like, damn, this is a strong baby.
Oh, my God, it's horrible.
So they skip, like, fast forward, and you see him as, like...
where he's maybe, like, 8-year-old. He's maybe,
like, 8 years old. I would give or take. 8 years old. He's in class, and, like... This is where Martha May's out of nowhere just says, I was never had a crush.
No, yeah.
I never had a crush on the Grinch. And Cindy Lou's like, I never asked.
She's like, what?
She's like, well,
she's flabbergasted.
He was so strong.
But
I don't know why I make her sound so masculine for a woman.
You get to this scene where the Grinch is in class, and he's like fucking drawing, like, pictures of Santa dying and shit, like him.
Oh yeah, he is. He
drew a fucking picture of like a bomb going through like Santa's sleigh, and Santa's like getting mutilated.
I don't know why he hated Christmas. He hated Christmas
and
before
he hated.
But he hated Christmas before he hated Christmas. It makes no fucking sense. Look, anyway, so he's chilling there. He looks to his left, and he's like ugly as shit, but he looks at his left. he looks at Martha May, and
Martha's like probably
she's like just completely. She's like, wow, he's so good looking.
Yeah,
and you can tell she's like,
you can tell already that she had a crush on him.
And he was like, if you look back at him, he's like. He tried to smile, but he's ugly. He's really fucking ugly.
He has a crooked ass smile.
He's like, yeah.
His fucking front jaw is in a line with his bottom jaw.
Basically, he's
a despicable child.
He's happy.
So
he's kind of like doing that, and then I think Martha May goes up to him, and she tells him, no. Augustus comes up to him. Augustus is also a kid who's a fat, fucking mean son of a bitch. He's like that one kid that you had in class that was like just a dick to you.
Yeah, for no reason. Yeah, he's just like...
And he always had that friend who just agreed with everything he said and laughed, so it made things worse.
Yeah, and he's not really talking any real shit. He had this annoying friend that...
It was just obvious that he liked Martha May, and he just wanted to put him down. And he told him to his face. Who says that to a kid? So what do you do? You think you have a chance with her?
Look at you. Have a chance.
He's like, look at you. You have a beard on your face.
You're 8 years old.
You're 8 years old.
Beard.
And he was like destroyed from that. But Martha May goes up to him and tells him like, I like your color green. It reminds me of Christmas. I guess that was the best thing they could think of. They were like, what makes you think they can make her like him? What could it be? And it could be like,
just call him green.
He's green. She loves green. That's it. That's all she needs to like him.
Incredible.
So she likes him because of that. And he's kind of like excited because the teacher tells everybody that she wants you to be the most presentable you can be, and to bring a present for
a gift exchange.
A gift exchange. And everybody basically shows up, but he builds his gift basically out of spare metal, a trumpet he finds in the trash.
Oh yeah, he just goes like ravaging around, and like his mother explained that he got really into the Christmas spirit. Sorry, but he gets like extremely into the Christmas spirit, and he fucking goes like knocking over people's trash cans, looking for shit. He finds a trumpet. He's like, perfect, and then he goes into their house and starts stealing all their jewelry and like.
Oh yeah, he finds jewelry. He's like, wow.
He's like, what a precious family heirloom.
He just starts smashing it with a hammer, breaking it to smithereens, and he gets all that jewelry and he starts basically just putting it together to making like this angel, I guess, kind of gift. It's like a metal angel face.
It's pretty impressive for an 8-year-old.
Yeah, really impressive to be.
I mean, if I made that, people would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But yeah, it's really impressive that this fucking Grinch 8-year-old made this like.
So he brings it to class, and when they see him, he's like hiding behind a coat hanger.
No, before that, he puts it down, and then like he starts dwelling on like everything that happened.
Oh yeah, with August. With August 2, where he told him, he's like, "You're an 8-year-old and you have a beard on your face." So he grabs that big razor, and we don't know what happens, and it cuts to him being in class.
Yeah.
And then when he's like hiding behind everything, and he has like a big like that old school lunch bag on his head
with fucking eye holes cut through it.
And he gives her the gift, and like. Everybody, the teacher's like, you need to take off the gift. And at this point, I feel like if any of you have ever been in this situation, it's so embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Would you hit the embarrassing in class could be really heavy on somebody.
Yeah.
And basically, she gets him to take off the mask, makes him move his book out of his face, move his boot out of his face, and you basically find out that he has like cut marks all over his chin and a bunch of paper tissues on his chin because he tried to shave his face. And Augustus, who's laughing at him.
He's like, look at that hack job.
Sure. You know what's even worse is that the teacher starts laughing at him.
Yeah, the teacher like starts giggling. He's like,
it's like that nightmare scenario from a Goosebumps episode. Yeah.
It's like you woke. It's like it's legit a bad nightmare, and what happens is fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah,
but it's understandable. So. The Grinch is just like, fuck everything. I hate Christmas. And he throws the gift that he made for his crush on the ground. And he's off, doesn't he throw it at like a...
He throws it at like the presents. He destroys the presents, grabs the Christmas tree, physically picks it up with full strength, throws it across the room. Kids panic, run the fuck out of the classroom. He's like, rah! It's like, damn, this son of a bitch is strong as hell.
He's a child. He's an 8-year-old.
Martha May's like, I think she's saying in the story, she's like, I've never seen so much strength. I kind of was like, oh damn, she was really infatuated by his strength. God. And she says it herself. She's like, this is the saddest moment. It was the last time she ever saw him.
So,
and he basically runs out of there. He looks at her one last time, and he's like. He shakes his head in like so much disappointment, and he walks out in sadness. And as he walks out, he decides to never come back, and he climbs the mountain of like
this. I don't know. It's like pretty much the mountain dump that goes up.
Basically the dump, yeah. And he goes to the dump, and he finds his new home in the dump,
and he lives there,
and he never comes back down.
Never.
Until.
Every single Christmas, he has to listen to all Whoville fucking sing their chants and whatever.
Yeah, and he just doesn't. He despises all of them because of it, because he feels like they treated him like crap because of it.
Okay, Sean, I want to let you know right now, I have a fucking massive headache, and I do not want to talk about this movie anymore.
That's fair enough. You know how you also don't want to talk about anymore? The fact that we don't have food right in front of us. You know what sounds pretty good? Let's go and go get food. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
I'm gonna get a hot dog.
Renee, it's the holidays, man. We've got Christmas lights up. My fireplace is on. My sister's making pork for dinner. It's Christmas, Renee. Well, it's almost Christmas. How are you feeling, man? It's the perfect time of the year.
I don't like pork.
Man, it's Christmas time. It's the best time of the year. Aren't you excited? Presents, gifts, everything you can get.
Actually, no. You know why? Because I haven't got any presents for anybody.
Well, can I tell you a secret of where you could probably buy some gifts?
Buy gifts? I don't know about buying, but sure.
Yeah, Renee, there's a place called Hybrid Records. It sells field notes, CDs, t-shirts, Criterion Blu-rays, and even VHS tapes. It's anything you're looking for there, man. They even are actually, their emphasis is actually on vinyl records. They have different genres from rock, rap, hip-hop, R&B, blues. Anything you're really looking for, they have there, man. They even sell the turntables themselves. What do you think about that, man? What a perfect gift for the holidays.
Well, you got me there. I guess I'm gonna have to go get some fucking gifts for people.
Do you know where to go get the gifts?
Please tell me.
Yeah, you can find them at 4233 South Alameda Street in Corpus Christi, Texas. Or you can find them at hybridrecordstx.com. They do online pre-orders, so get your records today, man.
Okay, well, I guess I know where to get my gifts from just before the holidays.
So after we go through that whole flashback, we come back and Cindy Lou's realized, like, you know what, maybe he's not that bad. You know, he just sounds like he was misunderstood. And, you know, I guess this is all just hypothetically speaking because this is basically how she was thinking. Yeah. But she doesn't really ever explain it. She just kind of goes, this is kind of like just an intuition. But they decide to so Augustus May has a meeting with the whole town and says, we're going to pick our new holiday cheermeister.
Is that what it is?
It's called the Holiday Cheermeister.
Holiday Cheermeister?
Holiday Cheermeister.
That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I wish we had that.
Yeah, there's a Holiday Cheermeister though. The chair with nobody in there. So they decided to pick the Holiday Cheermeister. And you can tell Augustus May, who is like, decided, like, you know, I'm the guy who's going to win this. Yeah, he's all, is there anybody you would like to elect to be the Holiday Cheermeister? And then, like, his little lackey's like, of course we're all going to vote for Mr. Who in the first place by default. And then Cindy Lou is like, I elect the Grinch. And everybody's like, what? What did you just say? And he's like, who? Who just said that? Who just said that? And then Lou, he's like, Lou, did your daughter say that by accident? We can't be having those kind of mistakes in this kind of situation. And he's like, you didn't really mean that, right, Cindy? Cindy's like, I do mean that. And she, like, gives him some big speech, and then, like, he tries to go through, like, the handbook, and he's like, no Grinch should be, don't you think a Grinch should not be as a cheermeister? And she's like, it does not say that a Grinch cannot be a cheermeister. It says in Whoville, anybody who has been a Who can be the cheermeister or something like that. He's like, oh shit, flabbergasted. He's like, he starts looking through the pages, and she's like trying to pull out another quote, hits him with it, and he's like, no Grinch, no Grinch. It says, what? It doesn't say that anywhere. He's all, it says in my book. She's like, no, it doesn't. You have to let him. And he's like, he's all, and the whole city's like, yeah, we should let him.
Like, okay.
And he's like, you'll regret this, and unfortunately, at the end of this, I will probably end up being the cheermeister. He looks at everybody's like, yeah, I start cheering. But like Cindy,
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, Cindy Lou's kind of like, okay, I've got that. But he also says, Augustus says, you'd have to have the Grinch come back to the city, which he hasn't done in years. And he says basically,
since he was a kid.
Yeah, he said,
and they're like in their 40. It looks like they're in their.
They look like they're in like their 30s or 40s,
like maybe 40s. So he hasn't been there in over 30 years.
They're definitely like 40s. Yeah, you're right. So she would have to get him to come back.
Yeah.
And basically, this is where we come back to her. She climbs the mountain, which is impressive.
Okay,
for a kid.
So like as this is going on, the Grinch is trying to drown out the noise of Who.
Oh yeah,
because he's so fucking annoyed. They're
singing like a song, and he starts singing it himself, and he's like, ah!
I can't check it anymore.
He grabs like these giant. What is he? He has a giant monkey.
He starts turning all these fucking blenders with.
Oh yeah, he throws like glass in the blenders.
Glass and fucking bolts in.
What did he have? He had what are those things called? The monkeys.
Symbols.
No, those monkeys.
Yeah, with the symbols. The giant mechanical monkey with the symbols.
He's a giant one, and he like starts having.
I don't know why he has it.
And he has it starts slamming him in his own ears.
He's like, oh, I can't take it anymore.
And she climbs up the mountain And because he's so distracted, he doesn't activate his urgency.
Or it does activate, but he's so distracted that he doesn't hear it because he's got all the noise.
So she basically opens the door, walks in, and just sees him beating the shit out of himself with the monkey, trying to stop the damn sound. And she goes up to him, she's like, "Hello there, Mr. Grinch." And he goes, and you just see him grab the monkey's arms, breaks it, the monkey explodes, and he looks at her, and he's like, "What do you think you're doing here?" And what does he start to tell her?
He just like starts ripping on this little girl. Oh, the audacity!
Oh, the audacity!
How dare you come to my room?
And he like giant finger looks her in the face. He's like, "Now you have to deal with the psychotic Grinch." He's like,
he just starts like barking at her.
Yeah, he goes. We really don't know why he does it, but he definitely just starts barking at her completely, and we both were looking at each other like, "Oh shit, I don't know why he barked at her."
We don't know what's going on, but my computer's on battery saver, so we gotta keep going.
So basically, that happens to him. He's kind of like telling her, like he's psychotic, and she's like, "You know what?" She starts laughing at him.
And you're like, "You're not psychotic." She's like, "Aren't you scared of me?" And she's like, "No, I think you're funny." He's like, this fucking kid, and then he gets like angry. I don't know exactly what happens. He gets like super angry at her.
He gets angry at her because she tells him that she invited him to go to the to be the cheermeister, and he's like, "You couldn't catch me dead going back into that city." And he's like, "There's no way." She's like, "There's an award," and he was like,
"An award?"
He's like, "An award?" And he looks at her, and he's all, "Oh, an award, huh?" It's like, "Yeah, you gotta go get the award in Augusta." He's all, "Who's gonna be there?" So Augustus, he's all, "Augustus? And I gotta get this award? And he has to give it to me? I'll think about it." She's like, "Really?" He's all, "No." And he shoots her down the same damn pipe that he went up. The physics went back to normal. She spit down that damn pipe so quick. You could hear her flying back in the city so quick. She was gone. And the dog looks at him, and he's like,
he's like, "Go."
He's like, go to this thing. And he's like, "No, why would I go?" And you know what's really funny? I actually thought this was really funny. So it goes to him, and he's like explaining, like, "I can't go. I'm very busy. First of all, I have to wake up in the morning and realize I'm not going anywhere with my life. Secondly, I have to look into the abyss of nothingness to recognize my self-loathingness."
He's just like, "I gotta eat with myself."
I can't skip on these kind of things. They're very important. And then he's basically like, "Come on, there's no way. Maybe some other day." And he's like, and he finds like an outfit.
He's like, "What will I wear?"
And he finds like some yodeling guy. I don't know.
Just like kicks his ass.
Kicks his ass, takes his clothes, puts it on, and he's like, "You know what? I'll go to it next time." And like basically, we go back to the city. They're all set up, and like Augustus is telling everybody like, "Yeah, he's not going to show up. I told you guys. I guess it's my turn."
So what happens is that actually like he's about to go out the door, and then like he's like, "No, whatever." And then Max pulls the lever, and then he goes down the fucking anti-physics chute, and ends up going down to Whoville, and then that's where Augustus is giving his speech, I think, right?
Yeah, Augustus is giving his speech, and he's already declared himself basically his own winner. And they're about to crown him, and then the Grinch shows up, just like slamming into everything,
and just like
flies in there. Cindy's super happy, and he looks around, and then he's like, "I'm here for my award and the cash offer." And he's just like, "There's no cash," and he's like, "I heard otherwise." And they're like, "No, there really isn't." And he's like, "Oh, well, I tried." And then, like, I think they start giving him gifts and stuff. And when they give him gifts, he's like, "To be the holiday cheermeister, you have to go through all the challenges." Yeah. And like the first thing they do is like, "What?" He's like, "What are you doing?" And then like they put him on a chair.
They fucking tackle him.
They tackle him, put him on a chair, and they pull him over. And they're like, first, feed him the pudding.
The pudding, like the pudding competition or whatever. And like they start feeding him
shit out of him.
They just start shoving like fucking chemicals in his mouth.
And there's even one old.
He's like, there's this old guy. He's like, this is not a pudding. He's like, and he shoves it in his mouth. He's like, what is it?
Like nobody ever explains it. Why the fuck? And it looked dark.
And it looked like gelatin.
It looked gross. We don't know why he even did that. Why did he feed him that shit? What a piece of shit. So he feeds him that, and then he's like, okay, whatever. And they start doing like a competition of like
fucking what is that?
Is
game?
Dancing. They're dancing first, I think.
Are they dancing?
Yeah, he's like, I've got to go. I've got to get home by it. And they're like, he's like, okay, I'm gonna dance. So the mass shit right there. So he starts dancing all hard, and then they go back and they're like, now it's time for the fudge contest, and they start shoving fudge down his mouth. And he's like, just give me it, give me more of it. I can take anything you've got. And they start feeding the hell out of him, and he's kind of just taking it. And then you can just start seeing he's starting to run out of steam. But then they have the hacky sack competition.
Oh, yeah, where it's like...
Not the hacky sack.
It's where they jump in the bag competition.
Yeah, jump in the sack competition.
Jump in the sack, whatever the fuck it's called.
We probably should have called it that. But anyway, he's like in sacks, jumping. And then like it goes to that music, that dramatic... Dun, 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 dun,
oh, yeah.
Dun. And there's like a kid next to him, and he pushes the shit out of that kid. He's like, yeah. Because he jumps over the line
and he wins.
He straight up just beats the kid. He wins. He's celebrating. He's a champion. The city loves him. This is the Grinch has finally found happiness. Yeah. And as he goes up there, he's all, now we're here to pass on each of our gifts. And Augustus, to be the piece of shit that he is, gives him a gift. He opens it up, and what does he find, Renee?
He finds, I wouldn't say the same, but pretty similar to the same razor that he cut his face was when he was 8 years old, and pretty much the reason, and cut up all his face, and then for that the kids made fun of him. He gave him that same razor, and everything at that point held, he completely lost it.
Well, he didn't lose it there yet. He was angry. What's even worse is that Augustus went up to Martha May, and he was like, and this is where the real moment is, and he pulls out this giant super triple ring, 3 diamonds on top of each other,
goddamn wrong,
and straight up proposes to her, telling her like, will you marry me?
Okay. Were they even like boyfriend or girlfriend?
I don't know. No, that the world, there's babies flying from the sky. The boyfriend and girlfriend isn't even a term up there. I don't even understand. Some people didn't even have big noses. I don't know, dude. This world is weird. Slides go up. Let's be honest. There's a lot of things missing. Okay. Terminology is
so she accepts, right? She says
no. She says, I have to think about it. And then before she answers, the Grinch pulls out his big nail, scratches the hell out of this red car, looks at her and says, is this what Christmas is all about?
He's all just materialistic things.
It's basically just materialistic things. You know what happens to all your things? They end up in my trash. You know how many ties I found? I have enough ties where I can just hang myself.
Fuck, that's
and I was
brutal.
Like, damn. And these people kind of just looking at him. And he's all, this is what it's all about to you guys. It's just about materialistic things. And he's like hitting everybody pretty hard. And he's all, but there is one thing I like about Christmas. And he grabs the mistletoe from the top of Martha May's head. And we all thought about it at that point. We're like, oh my God, he's going to kiss her. He's going to kiss her just to get back Augustus. What an incredible moment. This is the perfect way to get him back, right?
Yeah.
And he pulls it up and he goes, right here. He grabs the mistletoe, pulls it up in the air, and he's all, all right, Augustus, kiss me right here. And he puts the mistletoe in his ass, basically his ass. And he's all, she faints. And Augustus just looks at him in shock.
So what?
He grabs the razor, shaves his fucking head, kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, bye.
And so what he does, like, the people freak the fuck out because this is what the people do, and Whoville.
They panic because they think he's a beast.
The fuck out. So they freak out. Everyone starts running in panic. Don't know why, but they do.
It's a lady. The lady's like, He shaved his head and put his fucking mistletoe in his ass. And the lady, there's literally a cut to her lady is like in slow motion. Her head's huge. And she's like, and she tries to run away. And he grabs the drunk old man, grabs and pulls the bottle. It's a liquor. And he drinks it. I was like, what the hell? And he's all, hey, that's my good stuff.
Yeah, that's my good stuff. He fucking gets a lighter, blows fire at the goddamn tree, incinerates in seconds.
Destroys the tree in seconds. He's mission accomplished. Then he goes up. There's some guys driving in a little mini car. He's like, move over. I'm gonna hop in. And they're like,
so he sits on that car. He looks like he's on a fucking toy car.
I forgot how funny this scene is.
So what is he?
It's probably my favorite scene of the movie. So he drives this little toy car. He's like, move out of the way. And he drives and then like he wrecks the car. He's like, everybody move and ride. And this tiny little car blows the living shit up. Destroys the whole city with one massive explosion. And he flies into the screen like, ah! We don't understand how it happened or why it happened.
Oh man, John Woo had something to do with this.
John Woo watched that film, or John Woo. I think
it's like Ron Howard.
Ron Howard watched Face Off. It was like, they've got something. They've got something genius. We may not have Nicolas Cage, but we have the second best thing we can find. Jim Carrey. Throw him in a damn costume. Make him sweat for like 7 years in that costume. So basically, that happens. Augustus May comes up, tells him, this is exactly why we don't invite the Grinch. He's always going to be the Grinch. He destroys Christmas. He's the symbol of like destruction in Christmas. And everybody's just disappointed.
Yeah. We're good. Keep going.
Yeah. So everybody's just basically disappointed, sad, and Cindy's like really depressed because
like, come on, man! I brought you up here and we fucking destroyed the town.
Destroyed the whole town, and the Grinch starts walking away, celebrating, super happy. And as soon as he gets to the pipe, he realizes they put a brand new tree up instantly. So he basically had no damage.
Yeah.
And because of that, he goes back and he realizes like he doesn't know what to do. What can he do? And I think at that point he realizes he's got to find a way to get rid of Christmas.
And a sinister thought popped into his mind where he would pretty much dress up like Santa Claus and steal Whoville's entire Christmas.
Taking all their presents, taking everything, the Christmas tree, everything they can find, take it all back.
And it's really fucking... how do I say? Devious of how crafty this fucking guy is.
Yeah, it actually is.
He's like, he builds an entire sleigh in, I don't even know how long, 3 hours.
Yeah, he builds an entire sleigh.
He builds an entire sleigh, he gets a whole costume in 3 hours. And this is a big fucking sleigh. he does like tests and everything on the sleigh.
Yeah, he even tests the sleigh. He
tests it on himself, which is really bad.
I actually laughed pretty hard at that scene too. What do you literally...
You're supposed to test the dummy, but he tested himself. He's like, the airbags are a little slow. And
why does he even... I don't even know why he does that. He slaps it to there, and that's a classic Mr. Grinch song plays through the whole time.
Yeah, it's like a montage.
And then he's like, all I need now is Rudolph. And he looks at Max. Max like, no way, dude. He tries to run off. He grabs a reindeer head, tapes it to his head, and puts him... basically takes the sleigh, gets it to work, flies off, and goes to the first house, which he doesn't realize is
it Cindy Lou?
It's Cindy Lou's house.
Oh, really? It is
Cindy Lou. It's Cindy Lou's house. And he goes into the house, starts stealing all the stuff, and then Cindy Lou comes up, and she says, what is Christmas about? And he's all, presents. That's all it's all about, just presents. And she's like, really? He's all, yeah. It's about the presents. Or I think he tries to tell her something else, like, nice.
Yeah.
And he's all, now go back to sleep. And she's like super disappointed. And she goes back to sleep. And she's like, just let you know, Santa, we love you or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, thank you. He's all, thanks. for being so gullible. He takes all her shit, fucking leaves, throws it up the chimney. Steals the house, takes it immediately, just fucking says adios and gets the hell out of there.
So he goes in there and he goes through a montage.
Montage is basically him taking everybody's shit everywhere, every place, does everything, takes it, and gets the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And you see this sleigh just completely full. And then he tries to get out of there, and he realizes the sleigh's broken because he doesn't have enough power left. And he looks at Max, and he's like, "Why are you laughing?" And Max starts basically just bringing him up all the way to the top of the mountain, dragging his ass to this house.
Max drives that fucking 400-ton sleigh with all of Whoville's shit all the way through the mountain. See, physics doesn't work in this fucking film.
The dog is strong enough to take a whole town's worth of Christmas.
The dog isn't bigger than a fucking... than a tire wheel. This dog is small.
It's a small dog. So he pulls them all to the top of the mountain.
Strong ass dog, apparently.
And the Grinch waits just until everybody basically wakes up. Everybody wakes up, and they realize that
they have nothing.
They have nothing.
And they are devastated at first.
Yeah, even there's a policeman who gets up, and he's like, "Oh my God!" Gets in his car, tries to drive to the middle of the city. August is who basically. He's asleep, right? He's asleep, and he's kind of like he just wakes. I guess he wakes up. No, he gets woken up because the police officer is like he comes up and he's like, oh shit, what's up with my car? So
he was like, oh shit, all my shit's stolen.
So he tries to drive off.
How embarrassing!
Yeah, he tries to drive off to basically find out if everybody else's shit has been stolen. And when he tries to drive off to see if everybody else's shit is stolen. Mayor Who is basically in bed, and his bed's been attached to the car. Then he starts driving. The police officer starts driving off and takes him with him to the front of the city. And when they get to the front of when they get to the city, everybody kind of like walks up, and you can tell they just recognize that everything's been stolen. And August Who, the mayor, he's like, "This is why we don't invite a Grinch to Christmas." And the reason why we don't invite a Grinch to Christmas is because he destroys Christmas. And then he basically says, "Cindy Lou, this is all your fault."
Which is really fucked up.
It's really fucked up to blame a little girl on all of this.
He's just like, I hope you're happy with yourself, Missy. And then...
she's all heartbroken. And Lulu, who's like the father, he's kind of just like, you know what? No, she didn't ruin Christmas. And Mayor Who's like, what? What did you say? He's like, she didn't destroy Christmas. You can't destroy Christmas. And he's like, let me get this straight. You don't think that the Grinch destroyed, I'm sorry, obliterated Christmas? And he's like, Mr. Lou's like, no, he didn't. You can't destroy Christmas. It's always been more than just the presents. What did you think about that, really, when he said that?
I thought that was a real...
kind of a heavy moment.
No, that was a real heavy-hitting moment. And I think that made me realize, like, holy fuck, this guy is actually pretty goddamn great.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you feel like he finally stood up for his family.
Yeah, it stood up for himself, his family, to the mayor of the goddamn Whoville.
Yeah, and
Whoville.
Yeah, it's Whoville. Yeah.
No, I call it Whoville.
So everybody kind of like looks around, and they all agree, and they start being really happy. And the Grinch finally gets to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, and he was about to fucking just throw this.
He's super happy, but then he starts hearing them all start to sing the. I guess it's Omnu. I don't know how to sing it. Fahu Forest. I don't know what's going on. But he starts hearing them singing. He's like, what the heck is that? So he goes down there and he starts to recognize, like, wait a second. Why are they singing? And he's grouchy because he's like, I got rid of all the gifts. The gifts, the tree lights, the trees, they're all gone, the cookies. He's like, why? How can they still be singing?
And then he realizes, he's like, wait a minute, maybe it's not about the ribbons or the tags. Maybe it's something
about
more.
The boxes or something, or bags. And then that day, The Grinch's heart grew 3 times that size. This motherfucker gets a heart attack. He's like, hits the floor. He's like, help me! Somebody please! Max, help me! And Max just looks at him like, bro, chill.
And his heart's trying to come out of his chest. How hard it's beating.
Physically, well, this movie we already explained this earlier. The physics of this film makes no sense, but it's okay. We've accepted that. And he hits the floor like as if he's already having a heart attack. He's in extreme pain. I've never heard anybody yell like that. And it goes to a close-up of his chest, and you can see a legit heart-shaped heart coming out of his chest. Not like a real heart, like a
fucking Valentine's
Day. Like a Valentine's Day gift card that your ex-girlfriend gave to you just to be happy. Just for you to hopefully be happy, but you know you're pissed. But no, he has that heart. And he's like, heart's beating. And he's like, Max, I'm feeling. Which is really weird because when that happens, he starts to cry, which I think was one of the funniest things. You started laughing so hard at him crying. Why are you laughing so hard?
It was funny.
Because he was like stupid. Oh shit, he was right.
If I cried like that in public, Sean, I hope you would just fucking walk away and act like you didn't know me.
To be honest, I'd probably go up to you, give a pat on the back, and say, "Food's coming to you. You'll be fine, brother."
He says he feels, and that he feels the things. He looks out into the bright sunset, and he can see. He knows the meaning of Christmas. And he's all like, okay, I know Christmas isn't about materialistic things. And so he's just like, wait a minute, the toys, the presents.
Doesn't he first have Max? He tells Max, I'm feeling, Max, I love you. Oh, yeah, and the dog goes up to start licking. It was a beautiful moment. I was in tears as a 10-year-old kid. Yeah. Renee was in complete joy. And he goes, oh, thank you. Get off me. Get the fuck off. I've had enough. Poor dog's like, oh shit.
The dog's my bad.
And this is where it actually goes into what Renee's saying.
Where he's just like, oh my god, the toys. So he jumps up to the top of the mountain after he jumps down. He jumps up and then he's just like, I gotta save the toys and everything. I gotta save the whole Whoville. And so he jumps up. He fucking pathetically jumps forward. He's like, no, with his arms out, and then he rushes forward, jumps to save this, completely misses. Hits his face on the ground, then crawls for it, grabs it with his arms, tries to yank it, and trying so hard.
You know what's really interesting too about this part is that he gives up.
Oh yeah, he gives up.
And I don't know if you noticed this or not, but he says it's just presents.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's really interesting because it's so sly. You don't really recognize it as a kid. It doesn't mean much. But when you think about what he says, it's like the original movie doesn't have that scene. It doesn't have him saying that.
Oh, really?
And at that point, when he says that exact point, you recognize that what he's saying is true. He recognizes that Christmas was never about presents.
It's never been about
because in the original movie, in the cartoon, the gifts are what's so important.
Yeah.
But by him giving up on the gifts, at the end of the day, he knows that it was never about the presents. And even though he's trying to save Christmas, it was never about the presents. So him giving up on the presents, at the same time, he tried to do what was best and do the right thing. But the presents wasn't what Christmas was about, and he recognized that. I think the original movie misses that. Yeah.
Man, I never thought about that.
Not bad, right?
Well, yeah, but ultimately, what had happens, is that a little someone is on top.
Cindy Lou
of all the presents. She's like, hey, Mr. Grinch. And he just looks at her and he's like, Cindy Lou! What are you doing up there?
Yeah, that's a really good voice. But something either you're trying to go for Nicolas Cage or Jim Carrey. I don't know what's going on anymore. So you got too good at it.
And then she was just like, well, it's Christmas. No one should be alone on Christmas, which broke my fucking heart. I was like, oh.
He gives you the greatest face you've ever seen. If you look at that scene, just look at it, look at his face, give us a comment. if you're going to comment on this podcast, give us a comment on that. What you think about his face, because that's what we look like 24/7 when we're talking about this podcast.
That fucking disgusting green-eyed face. Like, Jesus Christ.
So, because she's on there, I think, the best way I thought about it, when he sees her on top and the sleigh starts to fall with all the presents, he realized that deep down, the sleigh was no longer just a sleigh and presents. There was something meaningful.
Yeah, he had to save that.
He had to save the slave now. And he truly used his real strength.
Yeah.
He truly used everything he had to pick up the sleigh. Which is really impressive when you thought about it.
Yeah, this is a strong motherfucker.
He was really strong.
He's a really strong fucking...
Picked it all up, straight up in the air, and he's like, woo!
He held that fucking thing like a goddamn spirit bomb.
Give me your energy! Here, take my energy!
He says one of my favorite lines is he's like, I got just an alone!
So from there he grabs the sleigh, puts it back on drive, and he starts to just go down the mountain. And they've like lost complete control over the sleigh, but they're just trying to get there. And I think like the city of Whoville, everybody that's like citizens of Whoville have recognized that they're coming down. And I don't really understand why Martha May, and Lou's wife thought that Christmas lights on a string would stop the sleigh. But it's pretty funny because when they start to drive through there, the Grinch is like, stop, watch out, I don't have insurance.
Just this wisecracking asshole about a fucking...
And he literally runs straight through the line, takes them both with him. He drives all the way up. I don't even know why Lou... And he sees Lou at the tree, and he starts driving into the tree, and Lou, like, I don't know why Mr. Lou was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop you. And he puts his hand forward.
He's like, stop.
City Lou's like, get out of the way.
And he's like, Dad, get out of the way.
They all like drive into him, and his hand's like pushed back until he hits the tree, and he's like, all right, chill. And it stops the whole sleigh.
And it stops the sleigh. And the Grinch is all like, oh, thanks, Dad. And so...
He does say that. I don't know why he says that.
So... He's just like, oh, I brought all the presents. And then he jumps out the fucking thing.
I think the police officer goes up and he's like, you're under the... Yeah, you're Grinch, I believe you're under arrest. And he's like, take me, officer. Take me. This is all on me. I took the presents. And then,
and I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry. Then once the officer, then the mayor, he's like, pepper spray me if you have to. And the mayor who comes up and he's like, I think pepper spray would be the best option.
I'd advise pepper spray.
I'd advise pepper spray.
Something like that.
And he's like, I've heard enough. He said he was sorry. And everybody's like, no. Yeah. Everybody's in tears. Martha May jumps out of nowhere, which I don't really understand how she ended up on top of the sleigh.
There was enough time.
There was enough time to make sense of it.
To make sense. At least, hopefully, that physics.
Yeah, the physics. Hopefully, you guys think it makes sense. But no. Anyway, so Martha May jumps up. She's like, I have something to give you, Mr. Who, Mayor Who. And he's like, what is it? And she's like, I'm giving your ring back. And he's like, are you saying what I think you're saying? And she's like,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but there's someone else. And the Grinch looks at him and he's all, me? He's like, biggest piece of shit moment.
He's like, I got a girl. I got a girl.
Goes up to him, he's all, hey, no hard feelings, right? And then
shakes his fucking
Mayor
hand.
Who's like, fuck. Shakes his hand. He laughs in his face. He's like, hey, don't be so down about it. It's Christmas. And at this point,
it's a beautiful moment.
It's a beautiful moment. They start singing their Ah Who Forest, Ah Who Doris, Christmas. It doesn't matter. You don't want to hear us fucking sing.
Yeah, and then the Grinch couldn't fucking sing this song to save his life.
Yes, the Grinch couldn't sing this song. They found out that he wants to cut the turkey, so he ends up cutting the turkey.
And he keeps the gizzards.
Yeah, he tells everybody, who wants a gizzard? And then the guy's like, I do. He's like, well, you're too late. I'm taking it. It's mine.
And then it ends. It comes to the ending.
And this is where Renee is like, favorite part of the whole movie right
here.
here.
So what it does is it comes out to the ending over this beautiful mountainside, and then
which I thought was awesome. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful.
It keeps on zooming out to the fucking clouds, and then it goes into the molecular structure. This goddamn
I just thought about it. It does become the molecular structure.
And then it just keeps on zooming out until you get to the very pinpoint of the snowflake, and it zooms all the way out. And at this point, I literally spat out. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, none of this shit makes sense.
That is how the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, I think the best way we can put it, Renee, what do you think about this movie?
What do I think? Look, man, there's a lot what I think, but I mean, you obviously want to hear it.
Let's be honest. Did you like it?
Okay, to be honest, whoever made it this far, I congratulate you.
Yeah, we really do appreciate you being.
So your reward is to listen to me talk more. If you don't like that, sorry, but I'm gonna say what I thought about how the Grinch Stole Christmas. How I thought about it is how society. How I'm gonna say, I want to sound like a fucking dumbass, but how society views Christmas, and how we as like consumers eat up the thought of like getting our loved ones gifts, and it usually the loved ones don't. If they love you, they really don't care all that much about the gifts. They care about the thought that you put into the gifts. So like, it doesn't matter if you have this expensive ass gift that you spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars for. I mean, just a little something that shows appreciation can go a long way, and something meaningful. And I think that got lost in all this Whoville society, and how that like pageants and fucking presents don't really matter. And that's what Cindy Lou, which is kind of interesting because the only child was the one to point that out of all these adults who have lived their lives by this kind of like blinded society, or this blindness of products, that they just accepted that. And Cindy Lou was the only one that rose above from all of that nonsense, and she decided that like Christmas isn't about presents, it's about being together and being one. And I think that's what this movie was trying to say, is that it doesn't matter about all the presents, it just matters about the people you love. That's a kind of a long analysis of the film, but yeah, that's what I think. What about you?
It's really interesting when you think about it that a kid's film like this has such a heavy impact on kind of who we are as people when you look back at it. That we watch something like this and we come out of it thinking that, that we can kind of understand where the Grinch is coming from, which I think is really interesting from the fact that when you look at the movie, it's about a guy who is not accepted by society standards, but he's the only person in the film where you feel like he's most relatable. I mean, obviously he's crazy and he's outlandish, but none of us are normal. We're all kind of different in our own way. And I feel like in this movie, he's probably the most understanding person when it comes to the idea that Christmas is about more than just presents. It's more about the idea of caring for each other. And I think that he was lost deep down. That he just didn't have that kind of feeling towards anybody. And he wanted that to be the real. And I think it's really interesting because he saw it that way and no one else did. Or if they did think that way, they pushed it to the back of their head. But it took somebody else that felt that exact same way to find him. And to make sure that everybody else remembered what Christmas was really about. And it's the caring of each other. So when you look back at it, it's really interesting because he was the first one to kind of show, like, in this society of people that are kind of just overly happy all the time from products he was the one that saw it as there's more than just that. Christmas was really about for him is the caring and love for each other. And I think only Cindy Lou was the only other person who understood that. And that's why she knew she could help him. She just wanted him to be happy. So, I don't know. It's really interesting when you think about it, that a film that is really relatable to today's standards, because there's a lot of people out there that are not, that just think that way. That materials and objects and products are all going to be what makes you happy. But at the end of the day, it's you, your family, and the people that care about you that truly can help you be happy. And that sometimes that's all you need.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty deep.
Where'd you read it from? The back of a cereal box?
Cheerios is a great cereal. Okay, I'm kidding.
No, but all jokes aside, this was a fucking phenomenal film. Kudos to Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey always doing a great job.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Thank you for that fucking role. You just probably went blind from wearing those yellow ass contacts, and he probably fucking suffered enormous amounts of anxiety from the fucking from that suit that he had to wear, covered in yak hair. But
yeah, I definitely he did a great job, and I'm glad that Jim Carrey was the one to do it. I think there's only one other man that could have done that role. His name was Nicolas Cage, but I definitely think he would never jump inside that suit.
There's other roles that he can do, and you know.
There's one role.
There's one.
One day you'll get it. Let's just say you probably don't even know what that means, and even if you got this far in the podcast, you still don't know what it means. One day you'll know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
But we'll get there and on that day. So yeah, this has been How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Renee, did you like it?
I fucking loved this movie. I loved it since I was 5 years old.
I still think it holds up pretty well. I like it, and yeah, I think it was great. So How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Hope you enjoyed. And happy holidays to all of y'all, okay? If you're not into Christmas or if you're into Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays to all of y'all, okay? Have a good night.